Hello, everyone. Welcome to our video podcast series on autism, Beyond the Spectrum, Unveiling the Many Colors of Autism. Today, the topic that we have chosen for discussion is early intervention, the importance of timely support. And I'm proud to introduce you all to Mrs. Harini Srinivasan, trustee, We Nurture Foundation, who's a developmental psychologist, early interventionist, and educationist. Harini started off as an educator 15 years ago, but later pursued her career as a research. And she discovered that children with developmental difficulties faced a wide range of challenges related to motor, social, emotional, sensory, perceptual, behavioral functions of the body. However, early detection and intervention in these areas made the skills simpler and attainable. Thus, she became a strong advocate of early intervention as a means of support and educational system for young children with developmental delays. So, with immense pleasure and proud, I invite Mrs. Harini Srinivasan for today's discussion. So, yes. Welcome, ma'am. So, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and joining us for the video podcast on early intervention, the importance of timely support. So, we are very much honored to have you here, and we are waiting to hear from you so much of information so that could give us a brief orientation about what is early intervention and how we can support children. So, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. It is an amazing, it's a journey. Early intervention is just not it's a solution. It's a journey, I believe. And thank you so much for curating such a wonderful topic, which is going to help many families and young parents to understand the importance of early intervention and how this is going to play it's going to be a game changer in the life of the family and the children.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So I'll just quickly get into our topic. So just to begin with, so what is early intervention and why is that important for child's development and well-being?
See, when we talk about early intervention, it is as the name suggests, right? So it is as early as possible. If there is, some delays, some challenge with something, we have to intervene into it as early as possible, right? It can be a health issue. It can be anything, any challenge. We want to have it as early as possible.
Yeah, earlier the better.
Earlier the better. Yes. So as it suggests, so it is again the same thing with our children, right? If we are seeing some challenges, some differences, right? It can be with their motor milestones, it can be with their speech milestone, it can be anything. So the minute we see something which is differing from what we usually observe, it is good to go look for suggestions, help, support, whatever it takes. Consult the right people at the right time, right? So that we don't delay any process, and sooner the better.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So how is this goals of EI is actually different from other traditional educational or therapeutic forms? Because early intervention stands out a little different from other therapeutic or traditional approaches. So how do we explain that?
So, see, early intervention, as we say, we just not going to see if the child is speaking, is there any, behavior challenge, or did the motor milestone was. See, we have to see the child as a holistic human being. Right, we cannot call them or see them as set of challenges where, okay, there's challenge with my fine motor, so I'm going to fix only my fine motor skills. No, it doesn't happen that way. So in a school, we see the foundation. It's like we have children in their preschool education, and then they have their primary education, and then their secondary education, higher education. It goes on, right? Similarly, there is a hierarchy with early intervention, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
We have to see what is the challenge first. We have to approach, people, for that, and take it as a holistic approach than just saying, okay, my child is not speaking, so I'm just going to go to a speech therapist, and the speech therapist is going to fix only speech. No. We learn from our environment as we grow, as we progress developmentally. We learn a lot from our environment. So the early intervention focus also should be holistically handling the child as a whole and just not piecemeal.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I get that. So early intervention is more into the holistic development of the child, right?
It has to integrate whatever
Hmm.
we take, whatever we are looking at, it has to integrate as a part of the child's progress in a daily basis.
Hmm.
Right? The support offered through early intervention also should help child come together,
Hmm.
and grow together.
Yes. So, ma'am, what are the different types of developmental delays or disabilities that could actually benefit from early interventions? Say, for example, from speech language to autism spectrum disorder. So, what are the categories or what are the types, different types that could be getting support from this early intervention?
See, when we say early intervention, we are looking at as early as 1.5 years
Hmm.
of age of a child. Okay. So when we see that, we cannot really diagnose a child as a child in the autism spectrum or ADHD. It is too early for even
Any
the
diagnosis to be made?
yeah, even the
Yes.
diagnosis too early. But what we can look at as young as 1.5 to 3 years, I would say 1.5 to 3 years, what we can look at is the skill sets which are lagging. The
Hmm.
child has not developed these skill sets as according to their age. The
Hmm.
developmental age is this, but their skill age is this. This is
Okay.
something that we can look at. But as we progress, as the child grows about more than 3 years, we can actually see what is the child at risk of.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That is something that we can look at
Hmm.
definitely.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what is the child at risk? So
Hmm.
we have to see this and this as a component together. And any challenge, any developmental delay which is at risk of something which would get into something at a later stage, we have to look into everything. It can be with respect to their speech, it could be their social and emotional well-being, it can be their sensory processing challenges, it could be their intellectual challenge, it could be their learning challenge, it could be anything and everything. It's an umbrella term, right? Everything can be looked at.
That brings and answers my next question to a certain extent. So, how is a child's eligibility for early intervention is being determined? Say, like what kind of assessment, in a case the parent is coming to approach or they are having questions about early intervention. So, what kind of assessment procedures and process is being involved in this early intervention?
See, it's a very important question. In this journey of early intervention, this is a very important question. See, we cannot, as I said earlier, we cannot see only the challenging part. We have to have a balance between what is the child who is achieved and what is it which is lagging, right? This cannot be determined just with a set of assessment tools, just not alone. So we have to have the family background, the history, right?
Yes.
When we talk about assessment, history is very important. What did the mother go through post pregnancy, during pregnancy, before pregnancy? How was the family? How was the support the mother was getting? How was the family supporting the child? And how was the mother's mental health during this journey? Was she happy? And the early years or the early few months of infancy, how did the mother and child interact? So all
Hmm.
these forms a very major role in terms of assessment in understanding the well-being of both the child and the caregiver,
Hmm.
right? And when we say it is, we have standardized tools and we have standardized tests. It's equally important to go with the standardized tests to understand the current developmental age of the child. Also, to understand the evaluation should be an holistic evaluation again, right? As a speech language pathologist, you would be focusing more on the language of the child, or how good though the communication is, their pre-intentional communication, their
Hmm.
prerequisites. See, all these are some things that a speech language pathologist would be looking at.
Hmm.
And an educationist would be looking more into the cognitive development of the child. How is the child thinking? How is the child, socially understanding, the emotional understanding of the child? How is the child's motor skills? Is the child able to, sustain the attention? So these would be from an educationist, right? And there will be an occupational therapist who would be focusing more on the other aspects, the motor aspects, the sensory aspects, and how well the child is able to understand. The receptive language is the common area for all of the therapists and the, educators. So it is a component which has the skills, which has the abilities of the child, the things which the child is lagging or the child has to develop yet, and the family support. All this comes under one term: assessment and evaluation. So this forms a basic foundation. So we have to, as the people who are working in this field, we have to devote as much as time as possible, and just not quickly run through the set of questions which are there on the paper and okay, my evaluation is done. No, we have to spend enough time with the child to observe the child in their natural environment. In a new environment, there may be set of behaviors, the child may show in the first day, maybe as and when the second or the third day when you call the parent or the family, the child may have a more friendly
Yeah.
interaction with
Much
the
more
therapist.
cooperative. Yes.
Definitely. So we have to spend enough time, and to rush through the process is not going to be beneficial both for the parent and the therapist or any caregiver who's working in this field. So, with
Yeah.
my experience, I would definitely, on a concluding note, I would say that we have to spend enough time to understand the family, child, and their environment so that we can support them as much as possible.
Okay. Yeah. So, ma'am, my next question is again, I'll just take a thread from whatever you have explained.
Uh-huh.
Discuss the role of parent or caregiver in early intervention, because many times what happens is like whenever we find the child is lagging behind in certain areas and all that, so it's something like, it's somebody professional who would take care. But then, as we say, it is early intervention. I think the support from the parent or caregiver is forms a very crucial element in early intervention. So, how these parents could actually actively participate in early intervention services, so how they could contribute to the child's development per se.
See, it's a question like how much should I involve with my child, right? So this is my child. Some I know I noticed some challenges. So I thought I'm going to take a professional help, and the professional, after an evaluation and assessment and discussion and everything, that they have told me that okay, the child is at risk of this, so
Mm,
you have to do this. So this comes as a blow for the parent first,
mm,
right? The journey begins with acceptance.
yes.
It is not easy for any caregiver or a parent, because we did not sign up for this. When I started my pregnancy journey, no parent would have signed up for, okay, I can have a child with challenge. No, we don't sign up for this. And it is as difficult as any human being to accept the
Mm,
fact that yes, the child has some challenge and that has to be supported with. So the first thing, what as a caregiver or a parent or as a family, is to accept what is presented, which is going to be very challenging, and then later on to take it up as, okay, fine, I have accepted, then what? Right? The
mm,
family also should support the parent,
got it.
right? It starts from the family. The early intervention journey starts from the parent to the child to the family in whole, as a whole, because we still have parents who come to us say that no, we have not opened up about this to our extended families. My families are not okay taking it. My neighbors would not accept it. My friends are not aware of this.
They're not
So
aware of it. They don't
this
want to
is
reveal
still,
it.
yes, this is the reality, and it is still, we are talking about early intervention as early as 1.5 years, and this is what we are suggesting. But when we go out and say yes, my child is 1.5 and yes, he has some developmental delays. Yesterday I went to a developmental pediatrician and they have asked me to start therapies. This is not still a casual talk which we can have with our neighbor or a friend. This is the current
Yeah.
scenario. right? When we are at this, I think the society also to come forward and support parents, young parents and families who are going through this journey. It is not an easy journey. And through this, I would have a request to everybody out there. So if you come across a family like this, support them in a way you can, right? Not talking about their bad parenting. Oh yes, I saw the mother giving a couple of videos. Always the child was on the phone. Maybe that's why the child is going for speech therapy today. Not necessarily. It
Yeah.
is just not the screen, or the child, the mother is working. That's why you did not spend time with your child. So that's why you're landed, you have landed here. No, I'm
Mm.
sorry. This could not be the reason, right? There are several factors which are still under research. No, it's still
Yes.
happening. So as a caregiver, the first thing is to take support, to accept the situation, and spend enough time with the therapist. I would say all the therapists, you are welcome to stay. You call the
Mm.
parents, even though they say no. No, my child may not sit. It can be for 1 or 2 sessions. Invite them as much as possible. Maybe call them at the end of the session when the child is really settled in with you. Call the parent, tell the parent, explain the parent. They may not understand in one go,
Mm.
right? They're not professionals yet, but
Yes.
they are in this journey, they are overwhelmed, right? As a therapist, it is our responsibility to support the parent with all the knowledge that
Mm.
they require in this journey. So the parents, we have to pull them in,
Mm.
right? We have the way we are explaining it to them, we should give them that confidence that yes, we are together in this journey for your child, and you please take it forward from here.
Yes, the emotional support plays a very major role in the families who's really seeking for help. Because even I have felt that many times, when families come and approach us, they feel like they are the ones to be blamed for certain things, or they've been isolated, socially isolated. They don't want to go out for anything just because the child is having some delay in their development. I think we as a society should come forward and support these families so that mental health and physical health are being considered the same. So the equal importance is being given for both.
Yes, this journey is not easy as we call it, because the child may be going. See, not all families are given this uh, well-being and the support and everything all at one roof. There
Hmm.
are very less than 2 or 3% of facilities which are available for all parents, where it is available. All these therapies are happening in one
Hmm.
place.
Yeah.
They have to go to an occupational therapy at a different place, a speech therapy at a different place, schooling at different place, special ed at different place. They are going traveling from pillar to post for doing anything to the child,
Yes.
sacrificing a lot. They may have siblings at home, right? They may have another child, older one or a younger one. They have to cater to them as well, right? They have not signed up for one child and okay, the child has this challenge and I'm going to devote all my 100%. No, the mother or the caregiver has to take care of themselves,
Hmm.
right? They have to fuel up them so that they can run the show,
Yes.
right? It
Absolutely.
is not easy, but we have to empower parents and pull them in and give
Hmm.
them the support and the courage to face this, in this journey. They're not alone and they're there together. And we have to come up, call parents and tell them, okay, go out,
Hmm.
right? Hang out,
Hmm.
right? We have to have some care centers, where they can come and leave the children for an hour or two.
Hmm.
Children with challenges, they can be there safe and
Hmm.
secure and happy, so that the mother or the father or the young parent can go out, spend some time for themselves and come back.
It's nice.
It's a long way, it's a long
Yeah,
journey.
no, I wish this comes true very soon. It's amazing to hear the thoughts. Ma'am, so maybe I'm just stepping on to my last question.
Mhm.
Could you just recommend some of the resources or organizations or even books that could actually provide some information for the parents or the professionals in this area? So, who's actually seeking help or wanted to know more about early intervention? People who are more inclined towards early intervention, or just looking for what is more in early intervention? So, what kind of resources would you recommend from your end?
See, we have a lot of organizations like Spastic Society, you know, or NIPID,
Hmm.
uh, or
Treatment.
yeah, NIPID, yeah. So, or KPMRC or IRC, they all have certificate courses for
Hmm.
professionals. And there are private institutions or the NGOs also of offering through distance mode for
Hmm.
professionals who are in this field to understand the importance of early intervention and cross cultural understanding of early intervention. They can be a pediatrician, they can be doctors,
Hmm.
or they can be psychologists who wants to understand more and work in this field. There are courses which are available,
Hmm.
and there are NGOs who have, given their propriety right as manuals and books, which are available for at a very reasonable price, I would say, which are available in the market, and as resources, it is available. So we have to look at it as the parents can look at these resource books or manuals where it is explained step by step. If the child has a challenge with fine motor, so what do I do?
Hmm.
There are manuals available from some NGOs. If I can name a few, the Comdeal Trust has got amazing manuals which are available for parents and other caregivers who can look into the books or buy them for their references and work with their child. And NIPED also has their early intervention kit, which is launched recently,
Hmm.
which is at a very affordable price. Even children who are going for Anganwadis and the smaller areas from villages, they can write to them or they can purchase these materials online. Spastic Society of Karnataka has amazing courses which are listed for special educators or for school teachers who are willing to understand their early intervention requirements. It's a 1 year course. It's a distance mode 1 year course. So this is for their understanding, to help the small group of children that they are meeting on a daily basis or a regular basis, or they have interest in this and they want to understand more about it. So these are the starting points, I would say.
Thank you,
Right.
ma'am. This helps very much because as beginners, as we have as parents, when we first encounter this word called early intervention, so where should we go? Who's the right person to approach and all that? I think that clears that air for them. And and I would just wanted to say that a very big thank you to you first for giving us your precious time and sharing the valuable inputs. Ma'am, would you like to say anything on a concluding note?
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. It is great interacting with you, and I think I've given justice to the questions that was asked, and it is an amazing discussion in this morning. So I would, on a concluding note, I would say parents, uh, it is as we began, during the initial conversations we had. It is not something that parents sign up for, but when it comes to you, we have to accept it with all the grace that is required. And definitely there are professionals and people out there to support and help you in this journey. So the early intervention is very, very essential, and it is just not the end of the child's journey. If you come across any challenge like this, it is just not the end, it's just the beginning. And we have amazing professionals in this uh, field who can guide you, help you, nurture you, nourish you. So go for it, and you are going to have an amazing life.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thanks for your time and your valuable inputs. I think your experience have had a lot of inputs to all our viewers. So thank you so much. Thanks for your
Thank you so
time.
much.
Yeah, see
Thank you
you
for
all
this
soon.
opportunity.